site. There is much more going on than meets the eye. The adventure begins here.
Cool.
And that's how trades are done on CS Money. With Hellcase multi-cases, you're no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.
Alright everyone, looks like we are able to jump into our matchup here, as it is still very much Windigo versus DreamEaters, except that this time around, it is our third map, the decider for best of 3. So you're going to be able to see which team is going to be able to come out on top, and which of the other teams is going to have to get down, or to be exact, to leave the European qualifier here for StarSeries Season 7. Of course, though, this being overpass, it's actually not that bad of a map here for the Windigo guys. I've seen them play quite often on it, though this newest iteration, I haven't really seen too much of their performance as an overpass, so it's going to be interesting to see how this core of Bulgarians are going to be able to hold this one out against DreamEaters. For now, it seems to be some standard stuff here. DreamEaters, slowly but surely, creeping out a connector, going to try to make maybe a contact play on this A bomb site. That seems to be very plausible right now. They have the utility to deploy some of the more crucial choke points here on the bomb site. They can actually try to throw down the more deeper smokes that could land, say, in bank, and could also land on stairs. They could also be throwing down with the smoke grenades a bit closer to one another to form a sort of wall, and it looks like they have chosen to do the previous one, where they just throw down the bank and stairs, and it's still super effective, as all the DreamEaters players have been able to find the necessary kills. They are going to be able to plant the bomb as well, and Poison can't do anything while it's peeking out through set smoke. It looks like this will be a round here for DreamEaters, as, yeah, it's looking very one-sided right now. They have been able to eliminate almost every single Windigo player. Just the lonesome Victor roaming around, maybe hoping he can find some kills here, but that doesn't seem to be too likely, I'd say. No, okay, it looks like Victor's gonna get one, but like I said, I mean, nice try there, Victor. It is a very difficult task for his hands, and as we can see, DreamEaters gonna be able to claim the very first pistol round. I think in general, if we were to take a look at this matchup, hasn't DreamEaters won like every single pistol round? Like, I think if we were to take a look at the track record of this best of 3 series, I think the first pistol round was won by DreamEaters. Same goes for the second half, I believe. And then, boom, we have them winning the pistol round here on overpass. So even though they did find some success previously, it's a good thing that some of that momentum might just carry over here from the previous map. With this being a third map in our best of 3 series, I am hoping to see a bit of a more even playground, or even playing field. Not sure if that necessarily will be the case. Kinky is able to spot out the player, but it's still very difficult to land that shot. And with a Mac 10, I'd say it makes it even a bit more difficult, as it's not really known, a weapon that's not really known for its accuracy. The MP7, though, much more accurate gun. If not the most accurate SMG out of the bunch, I think. Poison with the scout. Yeah, pretty good position for him to be there, but at the same time, he's very much exposed. I don't think he has a single teammate backing him up here on the A side, so yeah, it does make a lot of sense for him to actually back away and try to play this one more safely. As if he ends up falling, well, or dying to be exact, that's pretty much the A bomb side given up for the opposition. Oh, there's a scout getting the first tag in. But I have been able to notice that DreamEaters for a lot of these rounds, and so goes for the terrorist side, they have been enjoying this sort of slow style of CS, or at around the 20-30 second mark. They make the sort of push here, and right now it seems to be the case yet again, and yet all the kills going in favor here. Hold on just a sec for DreamEaters, but Blocker here, what a crucial position for him to be in, and yet he's somehow able to do so much damage with that pistol of his, but it will be it, as Victor, even though he is right behind Optimus Prime, and he could have made it possible for the team, he just isn't able to succeed. Seems to be another round here for Windigo. I'd love to see the highlight there from Blocker. The MP9, boom. He's able to land some very crucial shots. There comes in with the USB. So I'm interested to see how this third map here will go on. As right now, Windigo going for another eco, it seems like, except for Blocker, oddly enough. Maybe I should respect that play from him, as he did get those free kills earlier, so he does have enough time to make the investment here of the MP9. It's just that this round seems to be quite the flop. Forrester hasn't been able to get free kills. His teammates alongside him are there to help out, and it's another round here for DreamEaters. But, I mean, those are just, you know, the ecos. We shouldn't be able to judge a team just solely on their ecos. This is where things do get more interesting, right? This is where Windigo do decide to make the proper investment. They have the weaponry he's so needlessly needed. They have the M4s that all coming out there in the hands of ships. Seems to be one of the few players that are really prioritizing not only just buying the scope rifles that you get to see on the T side, like the Krieg, just constantly buying the AUG here though. First, look at the amount of speed they have here. Mac 10 definitely can give you that. Ships Victor trying to hold this one down. It's still good trades here for Windigo, as right now Forrester is the lonesome man standing here between a victory here for DreamEaters and possibly could be still a very big L. The thing is though, and this is by far the biggest problem for Forrester, is that the bomb seems to be in the position here of Windigo. I'm almost certain Bubble is able to spot out the bomb, and if that actually no, is that, yeah, that is Bubble and a monster. Poison is down here towards short, and Poison is gonna be able to spot him out. It will be the very first round here for Windigo, and I'm hoping to see many more to come. So it would seem that some of the Windigo guys will probably try to give it their best shot, play a bit more aggressive here. Looks like Poison has got a pretty good chance to actually try to peek on towards Birthday, but even he considers to back away. They're taking this one relatively safe, and look at the early nade damage just by the nades being dealt on DreamEaters. Pretty fast. Forrester, Leo, very little HP to work with this early on is going to make things a bit more difficult for them, and in general for the whole team. As now it's going to have to be some of these other individuals to try to get into the fray and do some serious damage, or try to find entry frags. It is still arguably a bit of a more safer style of CS here for Windigo. Not really focusing on connector control. In fact, Toilets is giving up here, really. If DreamEaters do wish to actually take over Toilets control, and that's what they're doing right now. It kind of looks like towards the long they have a bit of a bait and switch setup. You have Bubble here close by the wall, and almost certainly he has his teammate Poison or maybe Ships looking towards that long area, trying to be the first man of contact, but It may not just be the long guys, it might just be Poison and Ships right here at the bomb site. As right now, Poison will be able to get the first kill on the Kinky. Doesn't able to land up the second one. There's a blocker right behind Optimus Prime. Still got someone in good position here with the Molotov. Does force him out. He has to take the fight. He does do some serious damage. It's still no kill, but finally Bubble pounces. And he's able to get 2 kills quick enough. And oh, there's also Ships coming in. So there's another round here for Windigo. I was actually hoping to see DreamEaters have a bit more success on that execute, but looks like that was not meant to be. Even though it did look kind of close. Gonna have to take a look at how our odds end up looking here on our third map. As we can see here, DreamEaters now still going to be having one of their players Kinky here, or apparently not for too long. I was kind of hoping for him to be maybe the lurker in this round, but apparently he's just going to be sticking with the rest of his teammates going towards what seems to be the A bomb site. In fact, they've made some very good progress here. Poison might be surprised to see how close the players are at, but it looks like that's not going to matter too much as Poison is able to take down both of them. There's still the remaining players who are still going to try to give it their best shot at taking over the bomb site. It's just that, first of all, you have to take down Poison, who has been quite the menace for them. It's just one sad thing, though, is that still hasn't been a single kill going in favor of DreamEaters. This is pretty much the Poison show. But his teammate Bubble will decide to steal that kill. I'm kind of interested to see, I guess you could see some highlights here from Poison. Oh, there's Poison getting the fourth one as well. And it's just his teammate robbing him off the ace. How are the odds are looking here? Okay, that's very weird. I guess that should be Windigo total rounds being won here on the third map, which it should be a bit more than what DreamEaters have got to offer. They seem to be still quite favored coming into this matchup. It's just that Crad is able to land some very sick deagle shots. I'm not even sure how that happened, but it's been pretty much Crad and Kinky, the two Ks that have been able to take down 3 Windigo players. And when you look at that, DreamEaters, they also have bombs to control, and with that being said, you can simply just take over one of these sites, plant the bomb, and win the day. Win the round, get yourself a victory royale. What's going on here? Oh, there was this. Still, Ships maybe trying to stop these players towards Fountain, but that was a very successful play there for DreamEaters, or shall I say, that was a very poor attempt there for Windigo to try to force some of these early aim engagements onto the DreamEaters players, and somehow DreamEaters, they have been able to come out on top in those engagements. It is quite the shame here for Windigo had that one turned out, as it is to some extent a bit of a throwaway. It seems to be that Bubble is going to be playing here towards Connector, but even he decides to back away. Early on here we saw, what, 2 or even 3 of the DreamEaters guys just throw down instantaneously grenades down towards Birthday. Sadly for them, there wasn't a single player in that part of the map, so the grenades weren't as effective as they probably could have been if someone from Windigo would have decided to play a bit more aggressive, so yes. But if anything, even though what a whole 40 seconds have passed, right about now we can see DreamEaters taking some control towards Connector. Looks like they're going to be content with taking over B short. There you go. So that's going to be the play here. Leo, first man in with that sniper rifle of his. Going to have to be still very careful here as he there's Molotov being deployed. And in fact, that's the last bit of utility Windigo had in this round. And even though DreamEaters, the majority of the players are stationed here, Windigo's kind of making the assumption here this is going to be a push here on the bomb side. Ships, though, somehow doesn't get a single kill, but for convicted, he's allowed all of them to pass, and yet Speedak checks him. That could have been so crucial here for Windigo, and right now the defense is just falling apart. There's Bubble here in short, and what more can he do? Nothing, apparently. He leaves Krat to a, well, one-on-one engagement, but Krat is still able to come out on top. No, that just... The saddest thing of that round just has to be the situation Victor was in. It looked like Victor was playing that one to perfection. He allowed not only one but two players cross. He's about to ready to pull the trigger and maybe take down at least one of those players. And yet the third man that comes in, Speedak, decides to check that corner. And Victor just can't do anything. So it seems to be now that Windigo just going to go for a good old-fashioned eco here. Bit of a stack here towards the bomb side. Looks like Kink is going to have a field day with his Mac 10. Seeing a lot of players coming his way, or at the very least, one of them. And that's the great thing about having a player with a Mac 10 like this. When you anticipating your players to be on a somewhat, well, your opponents to be on a somewhat lesser investment, it does make a lot of sense to have a player with a Mac 10 who can not only be maybe the first man in while it's entering bomb sites, but he could also be the one trying to gather information. Or at the very least, if before entering a bomb site, you want to make sure if it is stacked. You can very easily allow the guy with the Mac 10 to be the first man to enter and see how it's going. If there's actually a stack, or maybe there's a full empty bomb site. Very easily for the taking. And even then, I mean, if he ends up dying, like Kinky did in this scenario, I honestly don't think Poison is going to be very much too content to keep that Mac 10. It's not the best gun out there, and it doesn't look like it's gonna matter too much here for Windigo. In fact, I'm quite surprised to see how much success DreamEaters have been able to have these past couple rounds. Quite some decent success, if you ask me. Guys here from DreamEaters, it does appear like, yeah, first they're just gonna stick with the Mac 10. Sure, why not? Even though he does have money to invest, I think he's able to read the economical situation relatively well. That it's a very high probability that Windigo are going with the force spy here. So there's a high chance that some of these players won't really have Kevlar helmets, and well, Poison, even though he's down connected, is able to land the first kill, but there's Kinky and Leo able to find some crucial frags while he's entering the B bomb set. In fact, they've entered the site. I think they can very easily plant the bomb. The players have got some pretty neat positions. But they still want to try to get out of that side area, as Bubbly is here with the flank. Very early here, and DreamEaters is going to have a bit of a more difficult time while it's defending the side. Blocker and Poison. Both of the players getting kills right now, and like I said, it seems to be a very difficult round that Leo has put himself in. Still going to try to give it his best shot. I do hope he realizes where the bomb was planted at. You can still find some success here with the spray, but that's the problem. Once you end up spraying first, your traces are visible through the smoke, and that is where the remaining two Windigo guys can just lock you down. It's as easy as that. So it seems to be another round here for Windigo. That's nice and all, but like I said, one of the things I have to note here is that DreamEaters, on the back of them winning those past couple of rounds, and in fact a couple of them in a row, their economical situation is looking pretty solid. So much so that this round they had a very good looking investment. Maybe Kink is the one lagging behind, but other than that, it's still a very solid one from DreamEaters. I would be interested to see DreamEaters maybe try to make a bit of a more aggressive play, in the sense that, in the speed sense. I'd love to see maybe them try to go for one of the good old-fashioned rushes on the bomb sites, because really DreamEaters hasn't really showed that, neither in trade and so far here in this map. It's been primarily that sort of attempt to try and gather map control, and from that point onward we just try to execute on the bomb sites. Those ships though, very close to actually spotting out some of these players here, and it could be either Leo that could walk into his crosshairs, or it could be actually Krat. I'm not sure if Krat can actually see the gun here. Definitely not. His ship is able to drop the bomb carrier. That is a pretty huge scalp to get, and no, Krat has no idea that they're actually going to try to go for the boost yet again. I mean, it is pretty unorthodox, so I can't really blame him in that scenario. But DreamEaters, I mean, the bomb has been spotted. They're still going to try to make this push happen, but Blocker isn't able to get anything done. It's Forrester and Kinky. They're finding the entry frags on this bomb set, and right now it's all to Poison somehow. And at one point, this round looks so good for Windigo, and right now it looks like it's just going to be taken away from them. Poison, he has to go for the save here. It's a very difficult position that he's been put up here, and really the best bet, if he can actually even try to save the gun. Oh, Poison misses the shot. So now, of course, that Molotov could actually... Yep, the Molotov gets cracked. It was very low in HP after all. But yeah, this is actually a very crucial round for DreamEaters to win. As now they have been able to reset the economy here for Windigo. Windigo's probably going to consider try to go for an eco. Well, a double eco is a must. But can he save the gun? No, he misses the shot. So right now, that does make things very tricky for the Bulgarians. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do get to see an eco from their side. That would make a lot of sense. But the way some of the money isn't uneven, yeah, the force buy also is understandable from their part. As they're going for the force buy here, they're able to actually even out the money situation here, which in itself is something you're definitely looking forward if you're Windigo. That's interesting, the MP5 being purchased. Honestly, ever since the MP5 update came to Counter-Strike, I can't really say I've seen too much of it. It's been primarily the SMGs people are already used to, like the MAC-10, the MP9 and whatnot. The MP5 has been more or less forgotten, I'd like to say. It looks like Ship's gonna try to use it. Try to give it his best impression with the gun. Because it is a problematic gun in the sense that, yeah, it's got a pretty good fire rate. It's not that expensive. It's just that I don't think a lot of people just want to try to learn a new spray pattern, which would mean that players would have to learn a spray pattern in which it's very reminiscent to the MP7. Do pro players tend to use the MP7? Not really, so I guess that's one of the main reasons why people don't really want to be using the MP5. Even though it does have the nostalgia factor, sure, but gameplay-wise, yeah, it doesn't look like there aren't really any more MP5 purists anymore in the game. Victor, though, is able to find some crucial kills here. Victor, in fact, still going to try to give it his best shot, but Krad is there. And now it looks like the blocker is the only guy left on the bomb site. Let's see the shadow of the player, which does allow him to have a bit more quicker reactions. But still his Ships right behind Optimus Prime. He does have that MP5, of which he's able to get 2 kills. And even the third one comes in. Ships with a very crucial clutch in that one on free as he's able to pull it back and make this round for Windigo. Not bad. No, not too bad there. I kind of scolded the MP5 there for not being, you know, a proper gun, and as we can see, apparently the MP5 has turned out to be a very crucial adversary in this round. Very cool. Maybe I should begin to use the MP5 as the... But I am more of a MP9 or a MAC-10 type of person. This seems to be quite slow around here. Looks like DreamEaters are going back to their roots, as it's been primarily the way they've really enjoyed playing the T sides on both Train here and on this matchup as well. It's this very slow style of CS where they not necessarily try to take over as much map control as possible, but they tend to be sticking towards one part of the map. This time around, it seems to be towards middle. No one really making any moves or waves towards long. In fact, this is a pretty good scenario for Windigo when you think about it. Because DreamEaters, while it's taking over this map control, they still have to use utility. And the great thing for Windigo is that they're not even fighting for it. They just, okay, DreamEaters, if you want to take map control, go ahead and take it. We're just going to allow it to give it to you. Walker, though, has got the MP9 down. He does a lot of damage, but it's simply not good enough to get those 2 kills, even though it looked very close. At this point, 30 seconds remaining, so the likes of DreamEaters gonna have to make their way on one of the bomb sides. There's still enough time to rotate away from the A side or the B side, because they do have connector under their control. But now, as you can see, the flash being popped. DreamEaters now gonna make this push to the B bomb side, but they have to clear out of Victor because Victor's in a very prime position. Ships is there to help him out, and there's simply not enough time anymore. DreamEaters, they run out of time, and Forrester, with only 13 points of health remaining, is actually gonna consider saving the gun here, which is a noble cause. As the first half is coming to a close, Honestly, the guys from DreamEaters can use every single penny, every single dollar they have in their pockets for a proper investment. It doesn't look like this round will be it, as he's gonna try to save up some of that money before making the purchase on the very last round of this first half. Because it hasn't been looking too bad here for the likes of Windigo. You know, at the start it looked pretty desperate, but right now, you know, they're climbing back their way ships though. This is a very crucial kill to get, because not only is he able to drop the AK-47, but he's able to kill the only guy that actually had any money coming into that round, and obviously Kevlar alongside him. So as things do slow down just a little bit here, DreamEaters might just be making an execute. Not on the 30-second mark. They're probably gonna have to make this one quick. They only have the pistol, so this is as good as opportunity as any to try to overwhelm the bomb site, and it looks like it's gonna be the A site. Though Bubble will be presented a kill, I presume. Not sure if Leo's gonna check that angle, but Bubble, he is able to spot out the player. Easy kill for him. So once the aim push kicks in, it's a very difficult scenario to do anything, but you can see Kinky just digging around the corner. They might just be able to get something done here with this Deagle blocker trying to win the fight. So far, so good for DreamEaters. And in fact, solve the Kinky here. It does land one more shot with that Deagle. But you must admit, 30 seconds remaining. This is quite a difficult round, but Kinky still lands one more shot. And now Kinky left in a one-on-one against Ships. Ships doesn't have to win it. And he does, but that was a way too close scenario there for Windigo to lose. That was way too close. That was a possibility for DreamEaters to get themselves the 8th round on the board, and well, that would have been a tough round to lose if you're the Bulgarian side. Yeah, you gotta win those. There's no other way of putting it. You simply have gotta win those. Gotta win those. It does sound like Windows. Gotta Windows? Huh? Okay, I'll stop. As Kinky, he will be able to get the first kill on to Poison, it seems like. It appears that some of the guys here, some early exchanges happening here towards B short, and yet DreamEaters are able to come out in the majority of these exchanges. In fact, they have a 4-2 scenario, which they can be very happy about. So it does appear like Victor and Bubble, I do like this. I mean, it appears that Bubble alongside Victor are going to try to stick together, but this is the problem. Both of them haven't spotted out here towards B side. It's the obvious choice for DreamEaters to just try to stick together and just make their way over to the A side. That seems to be what the guy's going to try to do here, but they're actually stalling this one. It doesn't look like DreamEaters want to fully commit to this A site. Even though once they do deploy the smoke grenades, there's still not a full rotation there from Victor. He's going to be continually holding short. But in fact, it might be Bubble who's going to have to do most of the work here. He does have the AWP, but Forrester is right by his side. And it does mean that Victor's now left on his 1-on-3, where he has to try to make this one work. Oh, let's see how this one goes though. Victor does the very first kill here. I think he does hope to see a player in Optimus Prime, but that's a perfect flash from one of his teammates, and Speedak is able to get the last remaining kill. And as far as half times go, it's definitely not a very bad half for DreamEaters. I mean, if you do take a look at Train, if I do recall correctly, DreamEaters definitely struggled on the Terry side here. So if they do end up acquiring 8 rounds, I think they could be quite satisfied with their performance so far. see how this pistol round turns out, because it is an interesting affair here down towards long. A lot of exchanges happening, but kind of favoring the Windigo side. Yes, there's 3 remaining Bulgarians in comparison to DreamEaters only having Lonesome Crad here on the A side, and they're still gonna try to challenge him. I don't really think that was a correct play, but they do succeed here at the very end. I think this is the very first pistol round that Windigo end up winning, so they can be quite happy about that. As the guys here from Windigo do succeed with the pistol round acquisition, this does mean they got themselves another chance actually coming out on top in this matchup. Oh, I do wonder what's the handicap for this third map of the best of 3, because this being the third map and all, and Windigo now having 8 rounds, they're definitely in a position to, I think, acquire a couple more rounds here at the terrorist side. They seem to be a team with a lot of experience on a map like Overpass, so you wouldn't be too surprised to see how well they perform. Oh, this seems to be Ships, who has been able to sneak up, but not a kill for Ships. That was so close, and yet he doesn't succeed. It does appear like, okay, Victor will finally get 1 kill on the bomb site, but the biggest problem is that DreamEaters, they have put a lot of emphasis on this B side defense. They have the majority of the players here. It's just that it's still the rifle that's going to be able to overpower them. Pistol is not finding any success whatsoever, and it will be the 9th one for Windigo. Right, Windigo do have a pretty good investment coming into this round. So some of the players kind of want to stick with the Galils, oddly enough. A weapon we don't really get to see too often in a game of Counter-Strike, but for a round like this, why not? The biggest problem is that... Actually, no. Oh, you're right. It is a problem. Now that I take a look at the utility here for DreamEaters, it's really not existent. I do hope that one of these smoke grenades, or at the very least, is on the B side, so they can still somehow slow down the push. But that's an interesting nade stack. It actually doesn't do a single point of damage, but if there's someone would have been a closer cold spawning monster, it could have been much more effective. But now it's only Lonesome Crad here on the bomb side, and he can't do a thing. He gets overwhelmed, and of course Windigo will now try to go for the bomb plant here. Speed Act goes down. Now it's all into the hands of Leo to try to make this clutch possible, but it is a bit problematic because he does have the sniper rifle, which is good and all, but he's got no Kevlar, no defuse kit. So of course this is a very difficult task for Leo, whom I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to save the gun here. I think he might have heard there the footsteps. I think he might have heard the footsteps there of Bubble. But for him, of course, job number 1 is try to save the gun here if you're Leo. As the money situation, of course, isn't that great here for DreamEaters, as their economy is going to be in shambles after this round. But the good thing is, though, if Leo does end up keeping the sniper rifle, the team at the very least will have a bit more extra firepower coming into this 18th round. Actually, no, the 19th round. Yes, the 19th round. Could we actually be seeing a tactical timeout here? I did hear some clicking in the chat, so I guess we're going to be able to see a tactical timeout here for DreamEaters. If anything, they could really use one at this point. Of course, a lot is riding on this best of 3. This is our Group A here for the StarSeries Season 7 European Qualifier. This being Group A, I can give you guys a bit of a quick recap. If you didn't see previous matchups, we did see how the likes of Windigo have been, well, yes, they did end up losing to Red Reserve yesterday, and of course, we saw DreamEaters end up losing toward for the guys at Spirit. So this is the matchup where both of these teams ended up losing their initial games, and of course, the loser of this one will be out. Have a chance to actually try to accomplish something here at the Season 7 European Qualifiers. So of course, a lot of this is riding not only in this matchup, but this map in particular. It is the decider for best of 3 series. does look like Leo is stationed here with the off of the B side. He maybe could have get something done, but right now it's just become a very difficult scenario. Krat does recreate the sniper rifle, so he can get something done here, but even he ends up dying to the hands of Bubble. So right now, DreamEaters still trying to give it their best shot. It is a 2-on-2. So they still have a chance here. A slim one, and Victor, what a spray transfer from him. I'd love to see a replay of that because that's just some sick reflexes from him. The spray just lines up perfectly. There you go. There's the replay. Gets the first kill. Standard stuff. But the other guy, boom. A little bit of overcompensation, but still lands the headshot. Looks like Windigo is going to be able to have some serious speed coming into this round. What, 10 or so seconds have passed and they've already very close by here. I'm very interested to see how DreamEaters is going to be able to hold on here, because right now, look at Victor go! He's been able to push so close to the bomb site right behind the pillar. And yet, wait, hold on just a sec. Where are his teammates? Where are the teammates there? Victor, they're going to try to make this a very elaborate fake, but the biggest problem though is that they still haven't been able to enter the B bomb, neither the B or the A side, so this round is just looking very awkward right now. I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out here for Windigo. They did lose 2 of their players so early. And well, oh, okay. Ships SMO made his way here. And of course, even though Ships is out here in the tunnels, there is Krat. He's going to be ready and waiting, and there's also Forrester who's waiting for such chance. And just look at the positioning here for DreamEaters. The absolutely outgunned Windigo here, and this round it's going to be a solid one for DreamEaters. This poison could prove me wrong, and we can get something done here. Not really sure how much success can you find in a round like this, but you still try to give it a shot. But yeah, I mean, 20 seconds. It's kind of written into loving arms here of Forrester. It seems to be like it will be another round here for DreamEaters. I do think this was not a bad round, all things considering. The way they've been able to find that success so early meant that from that point onward, they can just have an easy affair. We saw one of the guys take over connector control. I mean, that's actually very good. It does appear like DreamEaters gonna have to hold on here towards the B side one more time, as Windigo do hold on here, as the push is looking pretty solid. But there's Forrester right in the corner, still able to find some serious headshot potential in Windigo, even though they do end up planting the bomb. The biggest problem is that, yeah, the retake comes in Bubble. You could actually even heard him clicking the AK, as he couldn't done anything in that scenario. It was a nice attempt though, you can't deny it. That push was very solid from Windigo. They had some of the utility in their possession. They did end up throwing it on the B side. They planted the bomb, and still, I mean, the biggest problem is that the positioning there of Forrester was very good. I mean, he's positioned himself in a sort of spot where you can see the players rushing from the bridge, and it does make a lot of sense. I mean, when you're taking over bomb site control, it does make sense for the terrorist players not to just take over the sort of platform where you can plant the bomb. Oh, pardon me. But it makes sense to continue on pushing forward and maybe even take over jungle control. But because they didn't do a very good job at clearing out water, that is where some of the guys, well, or to be exact, Forrester was able to find, what, 2 or 3 kills in that round. Pretty much just like that. Looks like, ew, that's a pretty nasty surprise there for the Windigo guys. As we saw them take over pretty early here towards... Oh, make this connector push! Oh, that big thump. That was a very powerful grenade there onto blocker right there. And even though they're still going to try to give it their best shot on the take, it's not too bad here for Windigo. You can see that Ships is going to be able to plant the bomb. Poison. And continue on pushing forward. He still can get something done here. Oh, the big thump of the grenade lies down on the site. It's Poison now, still going to try to give it his best shot to hold it down. The Molotov, in fact, is actually going to slow things down a little bit for some of these DreamEaters players. It does look like Poison. Yeah, I mean, there's already a guy up in heaven just ready and waiting for Poison to peek. It looks like. For the very few, maybe even for the very first time here in this match, it looks like DreamEaters have been able to even up the scoreline. It is 11-11, making things very interesting right now in the second half. Because as you can see, guys, Windigo, again, their money, it's not in the right place. Because their money is in a very difficult scenario, it does make a lot of sense to just save it up, buy up some of those upgraded pistols, keep around $2,000, and just try to make the investment on the upcoming round. It seems to be the way Windigo in a roll. Leo, though, oh, he's very fast on the flick. Not too bad there for Leo. He is able to get the initial kill and also back away, so that does make a lot of sense. Ooh. Gotta be quite careful here if you're DreamEaters, because right now the push is being taken to them. The Windigo guys trying to do whatever they can. They try to use speed as part of their plan, but right now it's not really working out too well for them. There's 2 more players remaining, which I will say this though, even in this quick succession, they did get 2 kills, so it's not too bad here for Windigo. But it's still no victory for them. DreamEaters, in fact, they got themselves 12 rounds here on the CT side for them. It's 4 more to go, and they actually secured themselves the W here on their 3rd map. But of course, it's no victory just yet. Oh, we can actually even see in the odds themselves. Like, it's not very certain that, say, Windigo is going to be able to come out on top, even though they seem to be the team that's looking much more solid in this matchup, especially on the very first map here. Well, our first map kind of being our second map in the series. And yet, no. Looks like Gold's going to try to trade things out. This is some very good trading right now from Windigo. They have been able to take down the 2 defenders here from the B side. This is a great opportunity. Just continue on pushing forward on the side. However, do you realize the fact that they still have a bunch of time to work with, so it's not going to be a straight up push on the bomb side just yet. They're going to slow things down just a little bit. And I guess once the time is right, then they're going to make the move. But when is the time right? It seems to be now. Flash is spinning over. Crowd along the speed act trying to hold this one down. They try to give it their best shot, but of course, crossfire there from Windigo was a tad bit too strong. Now they see the positioning of Leo. And I'm not sure if Victor's going to try to cross. He is going to try to do so, but they have to clear out Leo first and foremost. Leo, though. Oh, that would look very close in that scenario. Imagine if he has got 1 more or maybe 2 more seconds to work with their Leo. He suddenly can land the no-scope there with Victor because he was that close. It is good to see that Windigo are able to capitalize of their successful trade fragging. And even at the very end, it just pretty much came down to the refrags that happened there on the B side. So really, really well done here by the Bulgarian side. It does look like they want to try to keep things simple here. They have the majority of the players again stationed here towards this B bomb site. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see if they end up just trying to go for this monster push. I personally don't really like when the majority of the players end up going in for monster. It is a pretty tight choke point, but here though, it's not really working out. It is the first 2 kills going in favor here of DreamEaters. Still have to face a lot of these players here. Windigo so far so good for the CTs, and in fact, it looks like it's going to be their round for the taking as DreamEaters make it to 13 as Windigo aren't able to succeed on the back of that monster push. And that's the thing. That's one of the things I personally don't like when you have like 5 players walking down monster, well, or in this case running down monster, is that you could very easily get shut down if, say, the opponents have got a good crossfire setup. I mean, having the majority of the players just rushing down monster doesn't make a lot of sense. You can still send out 1 or maybe 2 guys down short who can actually flank on the guys that are holding monster and put some pressure from that part of the map. Here though, I mean, it just doesn't make much sense. especially if you don't have the element of surprise. I mean, the opponent's gonna realize that there could be a monster push happening. It's just very hard to do anything from that point onward. It is a tactical timeout here for Windigo, as they have to make some very crucial decisions right now in the second half. As you guys can see, I mean, money for them ain't that great of a, well, place. In fact, it would make a lot of sense for them to try to go for double eco, but because the majority of the players just are sticking around that $1,400, $1,500 mark, like I said, I wouldn't be too surprised to see if a force way would come through. So I'm very interested to see how will Windigo try to approach this round. And if they even have the confidence coming into this matchup to just try to go like for double eco, that would be pretty baller. But imagine, I mean, because their money situation is so low, if they try to go for double eco, it pretty much means 2 rounds will be given up here for DreamEaters to take. So it could be a 15 to 12 scoreline from which the comeback, I mean, it's still very possible. It's just that in terms of the Bulgarian side morale, I'm not sure if they're going to be too confident to try and win 3 rounds in a row here on the terrorist side, which in all fairness, they haven't really succeeded in that regard. Surely at the very start they got themselves a pretty good boost by winning the pistol round and the consecutive rounds after that. But really, trying to win consecutive round wins here for Windigo has been very problematic, to say the least. They just haven't been able to do it so far. It does look like our little tactical timeout has turned out to be a technical pause after all. I wonder which team is struggling with their tech issues. Hope it's not a serious one. I guess if it would be a serious one, that we would be seeing some of the players disconnecting right now, so I guess it's not that big of an issue. But of course, I mean, if anything, for either team really, for DreamEaters or Windigo, you just don't want to be bogged down by any technical issues, so might as well just figure them out right here, right now. You just don't have to worry about it for the end of the second half. Oh, there you go. Let's say we're going to be able to continue on with the matchup. I want to see what Windigo have to finally come up to do with. Yes, it looks like it will be a force buy. I mean, it's not too bad here for Victor because in comparison to his own teammates, he does have an AK-47 in his pocket. But the rest of the guys, I mean, it's pistols, there's a mag in the hands of blocker. So really, it's not that great of an investment here from Windigo. But of course for them, still have to try to give it a shot in this matchup. As like I said, the double eco territory is very scary for any team. So maybe they can actually find some success here in the force buy, because even on our very first matchup, like we saw on Train, we saw that Windigo players have been able to find some very sick kills with those upgraded pistols. So maybe this round can be of similar nature. They got some utility to spare. Obviously not a lot, but they do have that one smoker in the hands of blockers, so I'm very intrigued to know where he's actually going to deploy it. It could be in the side, could be up in heaven, could be one to be deployed on the bridge so to block off the vision from graffiti. But right now, I think they're not able to find a single kill. Of course, it will make things very difficult for Windigo to enter the bomb site if they can get a single entry frag going early on. Will probably make things very difficult for their side. Looks like blocker has decided to throw it down towards heaven. There goes the first smoke grenade and the last flashbang. As right now, the push so far not too bad here for DreamEaters, as they have been able to get some of these initial kills, but still Windigo, they are able to plant the bomb. Some of these players are still very much stuck on the bomb site. There's still one guy down in water. There's Forster, he goes down, and yet it's all in the hands of Ships. He does have the AK. He's gonna try to give it his best shot. Does land one of the headshots, and he does get the second one. Ships, a massive clutch for him to win as he now puts Windigo in a position where they're the ones to reset the economy of DreamEaters, and the tables have been turned. Oh, that's such a crucial kill to get. And that's a very crucial round for Windigo to win, and I think DreamEaters realize it. We are actually even seeing another timeout. Another timeout, it feels like. Oh, it's in fact Windigo taking the timeout, so they're really taking this one seriously. So, with our little timeout now being over, I do kind of wonder what did Windigo decide to discuss this round, as it is a very important round, because when you think about it, if Windigo do end up winning it, it is going to be a very difficult scenario for DreamEaters to come back from. And I'm very surprised to see that the tables have actually turned in this scenario. So it does look like a lot of this would come down to this push from Windigo as they are entering the B site. They haven't cleared out Monster though. That is a bit of a mistake, as right now they're getting absolutely destroyed by the crossfires. Oh man, even though previously we saw the Monster push failing, now they had the majority of the players coming out from short, and this is where they get absolutely wrecked by DreamEaters. There was really nothing Windigo did in that round. That push just gets destroyed, and from that point onward, there's nothing the remaining Bulgarian players can do. I mean, this seems to be very back and forth as far as second half are concerned. I mean, Windigo's still gonna have to try to give it their best shot. It will be a force by here with the pistols. I mean, they have something to work with, but definitely not a lot. So we'll see how this one turns out here for the Windigo players. And right now, if anything, DreamEaters is going to be very confident coming into these next couple of rounds. If they end up winning this, they can have 15 on the board, and that's going to make things a bit more easier, I'd say, for the CIS squad. Solo this round. It isn't over just yet, so we might just be able to see Windigo pull out some serious magic out of the hat. They did something similar before, so let's see what they can do it again. That would obviously be very great for the Bulgarian side, but I mean, they have very little to work with. In fact, if anything, really. So we'll see how it's going to turn out for them. Looks like the timer's ticking ever so more, and then it does appear like Windigo are just going to try to make their final attempt here. Their final attempt here on the A site of the map. Looks like the utility has been expended. Speedhack though, that's a very effective flash, and yet Windigo, they are going to be able to take down one of these players down towards Optimus Prime, but Kinky is very fast towards Car. He can still do some serious damage. Look at Kinky go. He suddenly makes this very doable for DreamEaters to win, and something tells me they should be able to do it. Even though Blocker, I think, is trying to come in with the flank, that's just, it's not going to work out for him. The bomb's not even planted for him. There's really nothing he can do in this scenario. 15-13 here. And there's another round here for DreamEaters to take. Windigo. Man, it's not a very good scenario they're in right now. A pause taking place. I don't know which team decided to go for it. Oh, this is quite a highlight play from Kinky. I mean, that third kill was, in particular, very impressive. I was able to flick on the guy. But yes. Here, though, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's again Windigo taking the timeout here. It's been their, what, third consecutive timeout here in the second half in particular. So it does make sense to be taking those timeouts if you want to secure a victory. But so far as we have seen, Windigo have been struggling here on the terrorist side. They still got a couple more chances here, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure how much success can they find. Well, it appears that Windigo going to be having the majority of their forces actually sticking together for this one. I mean, this is probably their best bet if they want to try to win this one out. They haven't been able to find a lot of, in fact, any success with just trying to find pure opening frags, so this is just going to make things a lot harder with them not having the proper utility. Leo, though, I do hope he has his teammates looking towards the banana area, so to speak. Otherwise, this could turn out to be very awkward. Blocker will be able to get the first kill, but Speedak, looks like it still will be DreamEaters going to try to hold on towards the bomb site. Of course, Windigo making the push happen. Leo right behind Optimus Prime, finding as many kills as he can. He's got his teammates backing him up, and it will be the round here for DreamEaters. It is 16-13, and that's it for our